Alright everybody, welcome back to another segment at T.C.B. Garage. If anybody watched the last video that I did, it was going over some of the things to look for when purchasing yourself a C3 Corvette. As you can see, we still got the Corvette jacked up in the garage. It's still on the jack stands. So everybody's probably seen from that video that watched it, we had an issue that I discovered with my trailing arm bushings, or sorry, the trailing arm bearings. They're bad. So we are working on getting those fixed now. I ordered a kit that comes with all the bearings, the races, shims, everything you need to rebuild them. Hopefully comes with some tools, a mock-up tool, a couple other things. This is going to be my first time ever doing this. I got a couple extra trailing arms because I do still have the original ones on my car. But I got these from the parts car I purchased when I was doing the restoration to my car. So I'm going to tear these apart and rebuild the bearing in here, and then get that painted up, pull my trailing arms off, and switch everything over. So we're going to go through this process. I've heard it can be a little daunting, a little pain. But we're going to try it, because to buy rebuilt trailing arms, you're looking at around, I looked them up, anywhere from $800 for a pair to $1,100 for a pair. I think this kit here I got through eBay. It was $315. The dial indicator I already had, and of course you need a press. You need to be able to press this stuff in and out. So the press I've had too. So I figure I'm gonna try to tackle this myself. Hopefully will be less than $350 getting these rebuilt, and I'm gonna show you guys the process in doing that. So all right, we're gonna get into it. All right, guys. So we've got our flange off. Okay, to do that, you have your nut right there. You got a cotter pin you're gonna take off of your shaft right here. Okay, when you unbolt that flange, it's just going to pull right out. Now I gotta say, with this tool kit, or the kit that came with the with everything from eBay, it looks like it comes with almost everything you need. It comes with this here. You're going to screw that on the end of it, of your shaft, and you're going to use a big hammer to knock this flange out and your shaft out. So we're going to put that on there. We're going to hit that a few times. Hopefully it'll pop out pretty easily. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm really not sure wasn't sure what to expect with this kit. This is going to be your installation tool to put your put it back in. I'm assuming what's going to happen is you're going to pop this back on, put this in, thread it down, and you're going to turn this nut, and it's going to press everything back together. It's going to pull everything back in. So far I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with this little kit. It's really cool. It seems to come with everything you need. I know we're going to have probably a couple issues with getting these races out, but hopefully it's not going to be anything too crazy. I know we'll use the press to put the races back in. But right now we're going to get this attached. And, well, hold on a second. Alright. Right now we're going to get this attached. We're going to take a big hammer. And we'll see how hard it is to get this thing out. Alright. guys, so you can see right there, it is out. Alright, so it's out. It didn't take much to hit it. Didn't take much to knock it out, just a few swings there. So far this is going pretty smooth. Alright, we're going to get this, get the spindle out. We're going to and see what we got to do to get these races out and what else we got to tear down. Alright. Alright, so we got the seal out. You're going to pull seal your bearing, which this one just came apart. That's going to be next. As you're taking everything out of here. Okay, there's your race right there for your bearing. But your bearing's going to come out, then the sleeve's going to be next, and then your shim. So when you're putting everything back together, that's the order it's going to go in. Okay, right now we're going to get these 4 bolts off, which will allow me to take off this piece off the trailing arm, so it won't be so bulky trying to work on everything else. But we're going to get these bolts out, and then we're going to try to get these races out and get this assembly cleaned out. Okay. Alright guys, so we got the bearing assembly pulled from the trailing arm. And it wasn't too bad. You just want to loosen up those 4 bolts. What I did is I took a metal chisel right there, just wedged it in between the trailing arm and the assembly, and just hit it a few times, and it did pull out. Wasn't nothing too major. So right now I'm going to work on getting the seal out of the back side of it. There's a bearing right there, and then I'm going to work on getting these, try to get these races out. So I'll come back when hopefully that is all done. Alright guys, so I got everything cleaned out a little bit. Okay, what you can see right there is right there. Okay, is the edge of your race. Right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chisel, hit it here, hit it on the other side. We'll see if we can pop it out. Then to take this one out right here, it's just the same thing. You want to flip it over and try to hit it and see if it'll pop out. So I'm going to do that real quick. Come back when hopefully I got these pulled out. Alright guys, I want to show you exactly what I'm doing here. What you can see, hopefully, is you have 2 slotted grooves on either side of your assembly here, which allows you to get great access to the back of that race. Okay, what I've done, put it in a vise, and I'm just going back and forth, hitting it back and forth. It's really not bad. Comes out pretty easily. So we're going to get these out real quick and then come back. Alright guys, so we're back. We got everything cleaned up on our assembly here. Get some light on that. Alright, I got the new race in down there. We're about to install this one. Now what you're going to need to install these races is a bearing race kit. And I got this at AutoZone. I think it was like $50 to rent it. It comes with a assortment of sizes here. And what you want to do, this is the one that's going to fit this race. You want to put it on there, and you want it to seat all around there and not have much movement going in between it. But that's what you're going to need. Put that in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to spray it down with some WD-40. We'll grab the light. And we'll spray this too, both the inside outside up, make sure everything's nice and protected. And we're going to install this race real quick. Alright, so when you're doing your installation, you just want to take your sledgehammer, try to hold everything on there nice and centered. Couple light taps, make sure you're starting it pretty even. Make sure you have it secured in the vise. And you're going to hear that sound. Go ahead and hear a difference in that sound. You're tapping it. That lets you know Got you nice and seated. Alright. So there's both of our races in. It looks real nice. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our mock-up tool together. We're going to get the dial caliper and start getting everything set up with the shims for the bearings. Alright, so we've got our shims set out. Alright, we've already got our sleeve on here on our test, I guess our mock-up tool here. We've got our bearing on there. That bearing's just going to slide on there. That's the way this tool is made, so you don't have to worry about pressing on. And then we've already got everything up here. We've got our bearing in here. We've got our spacers and our nuts. And then we've got the dial indicator set up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to test the sleeve. I already started with the biggest sleeve, or the biggest shim. There was no movement in that one, so I went to the next smallest, or the next largest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to step down until I get the proper reading on this, which is supposed to be, I think, 200ths or 2,000ths. But yeah, so we're going to keep doing that until we get the right setting on this. So, alright guys, so we got the dial indicator set up so everybody can see. What I do is I got the housing and the vise here. Okay, then I got a clamp running across here to this piece of metal, attaching it, securing our dial indicator. So I'm going to show you real quick is what you want to look for. I think the minimum spec on these is 2/1000ths of an inch. So we got our mock tool in there, we got the bearings in there, we got the shim in there and the washer. And we are dialed out 0. And we're going to check and make sure we got 2/1000ths, which is right there. Right there, 2/1000ths. So that's where you want to be. I think that's the minimum clearance or the minimum preload on these. So we're within spec. So means we got the correct shim. Everything's lined up right. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take everything apart, and we are going to get everything back together. Alright. Alright guys, so we got the spindle put back in. We've got our seals put in. We've got our bearing lubed up. Everything's put back together. So we're going to put this flange on, and we're going to see how this tool works. I'm pressing everything back together. So that throws right into your spindle. That drops right there, and then we got this big nut that goes on the top here. We should be able to hopefully press everything together just with the impact. So let's see how it does. Pulling everything together nicely, which is really good, really easy. Let's see if maybe I get this on. Looks like everything is pulled together, so I would say that tool works pretty nicely. It's pretty easy to use. Okay, well, we'll have to get this thing painted up, and then we gotta get the trailing arms off the car and get everything mounted up to those. All right. All right, guys. So we got the assembly done. We got everything pressed together. We are underneath the car right now. And what I'm going to show you guys is how you could take your assembly out without pulling your trailing arm. It is possible. What we're going to have to do is, if we can see here, I know we're limited on light, but we're going to have to pull our drive shaft right here. To do that, you're going to take off these 4 bolts around here. Then up here on your differential, you're going to take those off. Then you're going to pull your link right here, and you're going to pull that shock, take off your rotor, and take off your caliper, and that's it. You'll leave your spring attached, and like I said, you won't have to take the trailing arm out. The reason I'm doing mine like this is I actually had an extra set of trailing arms with a parts car I bought, so I rebuilt those assemblies, and I'm just going to swap the assemblies out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the process. I'm going to show you guys what you have to do. It's really easy. It should take, I want to say, maybe about a half hour or so to get everything out. Alright, so we're going to get the drive shaft pulled, we're going to get this link pulled, and we're going to get the shock pulled, and I'll be right back. Alright, guys, one thing, while I'm taking everything apart here, I do want to make note for anybody who has not done this. This is your end link. I guess it would be a bolt. Okay, but it also has your shock mount on there. Okay, so you find this right there at the end of your trailing arm. These can be a major pain to get out. So for anybody who hasn't done one of these before, what I've done with mine, I had mine out just about a year or so ago when I put the new links on, so it shouldn't be too bad. What I did is I've backed out my bolt flush, okay, or backed out my nut flush with the bolt, and I'm gonna hit it with a hammer, and it should just move forward. Not much effort. There it went. Sometimes these things are really frozen in there. If you find that yours are, you don't want to beat on them too much because you can mess up the threads. They do make a tool that bolts on there. It's pretty similar to what I'm going to use on the shaft of the bearing assembly here. But screws on there, and you can hit that instead of hitting that nut, and instead of messing up your mount bolt here. But yeah, I just want to let everybody know that for anybody who has not done that. Sometimes these or have not done this, these can be a pain in the butt to get out. All right, guys. So we have gotten everything tore down this far. There is our flange. We're going to have to take off. The shock's pulled, the mount's pulled, strut rod's pulled. Our caliper is hanging off the frame. Didn't have to remove the brake line or anything. It flexes, it has enough flex in it to let me lift it up. When you do that, you want to make sure, like I explained in one of my other videos, you want to put something in between your pads. I always use a little piece of PVC pipe to keep your pistons from pushing out. They will push out and they will start leaking, and you will get air in your lines, and you will have to bleed your caliper. But we're going to get this nut pulled off. Sorry, we went dark. We're going to get this nut pulled off right there, and then we're going to use this tool that's going to bolt right onto the end of it. Smack it a few times with a sledgehammer, and it is going to let the spindle come out. Alright, so we'll come right back. Alright guys, so you can see right there we got the spindle out. You come out here to the outside of the car. There it is. Let me get the light so we can see that a little bit better. And there we go. It's out of the car. Just like that. Now if you were going to rebuild your bearings, your assembly in the car, this would be all you would have to take off. You got your race right there for your front bearing. You got your back bearing right there. We still got a shim in here. But you can pop that bearing out with the cover. Dust cover is the only thing holding that in. Then you would get to your shim, or not shim, sorry, your race right there. You'd pop that from inside. You pop this, and then you could do your setup. But we're going to pull this whole assembly off because I got my rebuilt one sitting right there that we're going to put on. So, alright, that's one way you can do it with the trailing arm still in the car. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully this all helps somebody out. It's probably going to wrap up the video because I don't think I need to show the install. The install is pretty much just a reversal of taking it apart. You're going to pull these 4 bolts off here, of course. That's your studs. And then everything's going to come off here. What I use is a punch and chisel back here. About right there where my finger is to get that separated. You could smack it a little bit right here. Just don't want to hurt the where your brake mounts on there. And give it a few taps. It'll come forward. It isn't that bad doing them. But I think this is going to wrap up the video. I've already got the other side put together. Everything installed right there. So yeah, hopefully when we I test drive the car, I don't get any noises or anything. It seems like everything's really smooth. So yeah, hopefully this video helps some people out. Hopefully some people, some guys with a C3 Corvette tackle this on their own. Really wasn't that hard. I've got probably less than $400 in both sides, getting them rebuilt. So yeah, hopefully this video saves somebody a lot of money. If you like the video, give me a like. Just hit that subscribe button. There's more videos to come. You know, hopefully this channel is not going anywhere. So yeah, hopefully it's helped some guys out with some C3s to be able to rebuild their trailing arms and yeah, save some of that cash, man. Because I'll tell you what, these cars love cash. They're money hungry. I'm sure probably within a couple months there'll be something else on this old girl I'll have to replace. So, all right, everybody have a good one. Everybody stay safe. There's a lot of things going on with the coronavirus. So yeah, stay safe, man. Keep your hands clean. Just watch out. Everybody have a good one.